Yes. hmm See, I'm concerned about the use of certain words in the public court record. Yes. That have the use of symbols. Yeah. They have the use of emblems. Right. They have a certain kind of garb. Yes. Those that are priests. You know, the robe of those that are judges. Yes. Probably has some significance to be able to say that you're a judge or court commissioner. Yes. And since I never got notice of court hearings, I never had the availability of seeing what Brent Baston wears to work every day. Now, I have been in an actual Mormon ward, or it could have been a stake, the one that's there in Swim, Washington. Yes. But a lot of those that take the religious test, they have a certain type of garb. Yes. There are symbolisms and emblems associated with their individual denominations and religions. Oh, and anytime you read a word that causes an imagery to take place, yes, it can be used to prejudice, bias, and libel the individual named. Now, there's probably a reason why we give judges robes. Yes. Let's say you're Supreme Court Justice. I watched you on TV. Yes. Is there some reason that every judge covers their actual individual clothing when sitting on the bench? Yes. So that you have a robe. Yes. That does, usually it's black, isn't it? Yeah. And that robe covers up what you're wearing underneath. Yes. So that I can be before an impartial judge. Yes. And that I don't see anything about your individual life. Now, why did they give robes to judges? Because what you were wearing to work is more attractive than the actual. Well, what's so special about that robe that you put on them? Why do judges wear robes? So you can't see what they're wearing. Now, it should be that every individual in a court of law, when looking at the judge, yes, is not in any way biased or prejudiced against the actual office. Yes. Now, you thought you were wearing the robe for yourself. Yes. Made you look good. Pooch! But I would say that every person that appears in court, yes, should never be influenced by the personal appearance of the judge. Yes. Man or woman, yes, black or white. Now, of all of those that are ordained or licensed, how many of your denominations require you to wear a certain type of clothing when performing your official service? And reading pastor, do I think of Pastor Baptist Greg Miller or do I think of Pastor Kingsway Foursquare Church Mike Van Proyen? Do I think of Pastor, yes, Assembly of God, yes, or Pastor Lutheran Pastor that wears a robe? See, I worked for Aid Association for Lutherans. That's right. And I sold insurance in 15 different Lutheran churches throughout the Seattle area. Yes, you did. And I found it very, very interesting, really. Yes. Some pastors are very much about the garb they wear when performing their official duties in the church. Yes. Some of them have very colorful garb, the rainbow colors. Some of them are very conservative in their approach to the use of the actual garments necessary for the test of religion. But my personal opinion was, yes, when you were ordained or licensed, whatever your denomination required as garb, I had to respect that because they decided to ordain or license you. Now, if I had appeared in court, Commissioner Brent Basden, my understanding is there was no, well, what's the difference? See, do I know which denomination pastor's name? For those that read the public court record and they've gotten a copy of it from me, yes. How many did know it was the Baptist denomination? Yes. I mean, it can be it can be used to. Well, how many individuals know? Yes, exactly what licensing, what religious test is to be associated with the word pastor? Very few. Not unless you had some personal knowledge of the individual himself. Yes. Not unless you went to their denomination, right? Not unless you'd seen the inside of the actual sanctuary. Yes. unless you'd actually personally witness what they do behind the pulpit, yes, or in their individual offices while counseling. Yes. You have no idea. Now, let's say, yes, that you decided to enforce my rights today. And as soon as Mike Van Proyn did know, yes, not that I wasn't submitted to him because I didn't tell him it was because of the purchase of the Twinkies, yes, but as soon as I did not go to church there because my personal faith was in disagreement with what God had asked Mike to do, did you think you could just turn the electricity off on me in the middle of winter? You thought that you could receive all my court notices and it was my responsibility to separate myself from the church. I'm the homeless individual.